Hello and welcome to Wrestling in Mom's Basement. This is going to be our reviews of both Impact Wrestling Bound for Glory 2022 and Extreme Rules 2022. I, of course, Patrick Young. This gentleman to my right is my co-host, Joe Menudo.
Bound for Glory didn't get a chance to see the pre-show, but Brian Myers defeated Dirty Fandango to retain the internet title. Or Digital Media Championship. Main show kicked off with the X Division title. Frankie Kazarian defeated Mike Bailey to win the X Division title.
I thought this one was an excellent opener here. It's kind of almost your opening with a love letter to your opening division, really. This reminded me a lot of the good X Division action we've gotten. Along with this probably being, Joe said it to me earlier, probably being Kaz's best one-on-one match I've seen.
Yeah. I think I good ladder match with Christian, too. Back in the day.
Yeah.
In, 07.
I completely forgot about that
match.
But,
straight up in ring.
Yeah.
Without gimmick, yeah.
Essentially it was your traditional opening X Division match, just taking up to a notch with the action being total non-stop action, as it were.
Yeah. Like I said, like Pat said, that's what caught me by surprise, and it was the best match I've seen Frankie in years at least. I think it would be hard for them to fit more action into the run time that they did, but there was a couple things that were a little contrived where they could have been sold more, but that is not really what the X was for. But the excitement never let up, and felt like both guys were desperate to win. The short runtime suits the same match much better too, but similarly paced matches ran twice as long. So we're good opener.
I gave it an A-.
Hey. Up next, Mickey James defeated Megan to continue on the list review.
I didn't enjoy this match too. I thought the story was good into it, where part of it felt like Mia was having a harder time putting away her rival and friend, with Mickey being the veteran and taking advantage of that. Overall, good match.
Yeah, not the best women's match on the show, not the worst women's match either on the show. Which is good though, because the women's championship should be the best match on the show.
Yeah,
or the Knockouts championship rather. But it was good. Between two women who are good.
I gave it a B-.
B. Up next, Impact Knockouts Tag Team titles. Jessica and Ty Valkyrie defeated Chelsea Green and Deonna Purrazzo.
To me, I thought this one was okay. It didn't necessarily feel like this one needed to be a pay-per-view match, but I get putting the Knockouts tag team titles on the card. Again, it's not bad, but I'm not necessarily into the Death Doll stuff either. But the match was fine.
Before I get to the match, I don't really feel like Deonna should be in this mid-card stuff as well.
No.
She's been in since she's lost the title the second time. Since she lost to Mickey. Yeah. Deonna specifically is better than this, and you can make an argument for Taya, but Deonna specifically is better than this. I thought it was the worst Battle Royal match on the show, but even I still think it's passable for a pay-per-view. Not good, but not bad.
I gave it a C.
With my description, there was nothing else I could give it either. Up next is the best match I've seen the Kingdom ever have. This version of the Kingdom ever have together. For the Impact World, For the Impact World Tag Team titles, Honor No More defeat Mitsubishi Guns to retain the tag team titles.
I did think this was a very, very good tag team match here. Essentially, it was a simple formula, but it worked pretty well. With the heels taking advantage over the athletic and aerobatic baby faces, but also adding in some moves I don't think I've ever seen Motor City Machine Guns ever pull out in their time, meaning newer stuff. And I thought Kingdom also were game-ins as well in this one.
Yeah, I thought this was one of the stronger performances on the card. The okay, I know I turn to review a TV show or pay per view. I act like I'm not. Listen, I'm not. Just because I'm not into the Kingdom doesn't mean they're not good workers.
Yeah.
They're so if on paper MCMG versus the Kingdom shouldn't really disappoint on paper, and this one did. I was actually fine with the interference ending. I don't think it hit like excellent match territory, but or turned out outstanding one, but it made storyline logical sense. This could go either way, but I was kind of surprised to see the way the Kingdom won after the cheat. I knew the result was right, but the way they won after the cheat and interference that got botched by Maria. I will hope more matches follow. For surely that won't happen.
Yeah.
Because Maria, Matt, Mike, and Vincent were on no more. The only members on no more left are A. Kingston, and yeah, Morris, Tane Cake, and PCF. The rest of the group's gone.
Yeah, well, with them being gone, I'm not sure why they took the win here. So
yeah, that's yeah.
Because there's not necessarily going to be a higher tag team to give it to than Motor City Machine Gun, so
right.
I give it a B+.
A minus. Next, Bully Ray won a clear shot Gauntlet match 2022.
Yeah, for the most part, it was a battle royal. The entrances felt like they were super rushed.
Yeah.
Where it was maybe, I'm going to be generous and say 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
In between each, although it could have easily been like 15 or 20 at times. It just felt super rushed in the middle. And while it was your typical battle royal fare, there were fun moments in there, which you would want in a gauntlet, or Impact Wrestling Gauntlet. With Bully Ray being the surprise winner, I get the idea of having him in as a big surprise, but I'm not sure putting him over by pinfall on somebody that's gained a lot of momentum over recent weeks and could have kept it going. Even if he was just dumped outside the ring, he still probably would have looked at least a little bit better than Bully Ray pinning him.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like Bully Ray, but it's also 2022. And it is fun to see an Impact Wrestling legend in the match, but I don't think you necessarily sacrifice that over your strong future either. But yeah, otherwise, this was your Battle Royal.
I can really don't have this match of the show. I felt like it was underutilization of talents like Macklin, PCO even a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, he's in his 52, but he kind of stays out. And Rashwan, underutilization, guys like that. Probably going to lose the same Callahan too, to a lesser extent, but
yeah.
The result is kind of unfortunate. Bully can play his role well. But any time he's in TNA, it kind of becomes all about him, even if it's not meant to be.
Yeah.
Now he's in TNA. And not really playing one over. Not that he doesn't play one over, the story doesn't really focus on that person. If it comes in and puts over Macklin eventually, and Josh in this run, I'll say it correctly, but on the surface, I really didn't like that. The match itself has moments, and it was nice to see talents like Taylor Wilde did a moment, but this could have been better ways to utilize some talent here on the show.
Yeah. I give it a C.
D. By the way, I'm glad Ace Austin, Chris Bay, and Trey Miguel got on the show. Didn't get on the show at all.
Yeah, because they would probably be putting that.
Right. Up next, for the Knockouts title, Jordan Grace defeated Masha Slamovic to retain the Knockouts title.
I mean this in the nicest possible way, but big, meaty women slapping meat.
Well, I'll even go as far as saying this. I thought, well, definitely Masha, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
I also think this is the best match I've seen out of Jordan.
Yeah.
So.
And I meant what I said in the best possible way, of course. Where you have two opposing women hosses who have been kicking ass the entire time. going at it. Masha has been unbeatable going into this, and Jordan is just a freak athlete. And yeah, they collided, and it was a lot of fun. Actually, more than a lot of fun. It was excellent. I like the story going into it. They're hitting with their big moves, just practical, just trading haymakers with each other. Jordan is able to survive by having her foot, like, sort of just having to land underneath the rope. I mean, they probably could have done a better job of that, other than her intentionally moving her leg. But the commentary was selling that as, oh, it was just like it just happened to go into the rope.
Yeah.
But anyway, Jordan survives here. But overall, this probably should be a fun rivalry going forward. Masha probably could have used the one a little bit more, as I don't think it would have harmed Jordan in any way.
I don't disagree with that, yeah.
But as long as it looks very hard for Masha to take a loss, there shouldn't really be a problem either. Really good match between them both.
Yeah, I think this is easily the best match of Jordan's career, from what I've seen. Even this sort of Deanna match from like Slammiversary 2020.
Yeah.
But I'll probably edge this one out more. Yeah, I haven't seen much of Masha in low matches before this, but from the squash matches, I was a fan. Starter match was a little bit wonky, but then they also ended up having like a big bombs, quote unquote, I guess, type of match where they just threw everything at each other, and then they hit the intensity right. Both women threw everything at each other. Pinfalls had drama, and the spots were clean and creative. They built up well and felt like a personal rivalry. I really loved the struggle at the end. We got this match. It felt like it looked like it hurt. And it felt like a fight. And it was probably my new Impact match of the year for like a match.
If not, it's at least a damn sure strong contender.
It's at least number 2.
Yeah.
It was number 1. Then the next match happened.
Yeah.
But right. But
I give it an A.
A. Up next to my match of the night for the Impact World Heavyweight title, Josh Alexander defeated Edwards in my match of the night.
I could have done with the story going into this being a lot stronger. But Impact has seemingly at times wavered on Honor No More, how dominant they should be as a stable themselves. I guess that's because really not many of them were signed for full time, and really only 2. They only took 2 out of the whole group. It looks like. But I never doubted that Josh and Eddie couldn't give us at least a strong B+ match. But we got more than that, in spades. Really good, excellent match for Impact Wrestling, and this actually felt like a Big Show main event where they were pulling out all the stops here. They went back and forth here. Josh even. I'm sorry. Eddie looked like he could have won, which I didn't necessarily think was a possibility.
Right.
With how the angle was going, but there's some spots that got me pretty strong there. I also love that they kept the Honor No More stuff to almost a minimum.
Yeah.
Where they were gonna have to come out, but they weren't also overused. And only had their second run in after the match. Excellent back and forth between Josh and Eddie here. Really good match, and like Jabe said, that probably was my match of the year for them.
Yeah, A brought his Pro Wrestling Network Gaijin style out, and Josh brought very clean, tight match between them, and between the top pro wrestler and Impact of A and a current workhorse in wrestling with Josh.
I gave it an A+.
A+. Overall?
Overall, I'm going to give the show an A minus. Actually, no, scratch that. I'm going to give the show an A.
Same.
It was a really good show here, and there are three big singles title matches really delivered. What kept it from an A plus though is two of the three matches in the middle. The Battle Royal at best, the best I'm going to ever really give a Battle Royal that isn't the Royal Rumble, seems like it's going to stay at a C.
I was a little bit more harsh with it.
Yeah. Or I had fun moments with that, but...
Well, I liked it too well.
Yeah, I had fun moments. I even like the idea of bringing Bully in and all that stuff. But I completely disagree with the choice of the winner. And at worst, the women's title match was just a women's tag team title match. The rest of that I thought delivered very strongly. With my favorite of the night being the main event. Only a close first by the previous match before it in the women's title. And I thought the X Division was allowed to shine brightly, which kind of gives me a smile to my face anytime I look at an Impact pay-per-view. Yeah, so overall, probably the strongest Impact pay-per-view I've seen in a long time. Just a really good pay-per-view, and the middle part was maybe just a sort of a breath in the middle of great stuff.
Yeah, I give it a 2. Great show from top to bottom. Worthy being called Impact's greatest show of the year. Lots of highlights include Kaz versus Mike. Kingdom versus Machine Guns, I would say. The all four title matches that were in the Knockouts tag titles, pretty much, will be the highlights. And I gave all 4 matches an A, so of course it's going to get an A.
Yeah.
And 2 title changes, the return of Matt Cardona, which I did forget to mention as a highlight for the Battle Royal 2. The return of Matt Cardona and the return of Bully Ray as a surprise.
Hell, if he pinned Macklin, I would have been okay with it.
Right. But they were newsworthy as well.
Yeah.
So definitely worth checking out if you missed it. Moving on to Extreme Rules.
Yes, we were actually there.
Yes, but we rewatched it.
Yes. Because, well, a lot of action was outside the ring, and since we were on the floor in the back, we missed good parts of it.
Yeah. Extreme Rules kicked off of
Still a hell of a lot of fun, though.
Yeah. With a good old-fashioned Donnybrook 6-man tag match, the Braun Bruce defeated Imperium.
And starting with one of those matches where a lot happened on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this wasn't the right choice here as just a out-of-control 6-person brawl. With two different stables that have literally put on some great television in the last 2 months together. Yeah, just really good brawl, and it's exactly what you already paid your money's worth when you think of Extreme Rules and what WWE was trying to push with it being in Philly. It reminds you enough of an ECW brawl with much better talent. No offense to the top talent in ECW. I do like the Brawling Brutes getting the win here because now that I think about it, they haven't gotten their major win ever as a stable together. Imperium had their dominance in NXT, which under the new regime carries over to the current Imperium state. Yeah, all the crazy stuff, the car wreck and all that jazz. Yeah, this is a hell of an opener to start the show.
Yeah, fantastic opener. It's great to see Gunther and Sheamus be as over as they are and helping all involved. Helping all 4 out. Fun and brutal opener and the pace. I said the pace for the rest of the show.
I give it an A.
It's tied for my match tonight.
I like one match slightly more.
Next, Ronda Rousey defeated Liv Morgan in a Extreme Rules match to win the SmackDown Women's Championship.
I did enjoy myself in this match. Not saying that it was the most perfect Extreme Rules brawl I've ever seen, because it was far from that. Uh, I'll start with the compliments. I'll start with the complaints first. Liv's got to get better at hitting people with weapons. If she's ever in another Extreme Rules, no DQ, Donnybrook, whatever you want to call it, she's gonna have to lay her shots in instead of looking like she's trying to just make sort of a noise, but not actually hurt her opponent. Literally, the best way to. It seems like people do that, and every time I hear from the pro or any interview from pros or whatever, it seems like you tell each other, "Hey, we'll say sorry when we come back. Just lay your stuff in," and they go out there and have, in honor of the first match being on there, a banger. But yeah, I thought they did what I thought they did well was that they played the underdog story really well between the two. Where Ronda looked dominant and in control for just about the match, with Liv getting in the hope spot in the middle. And even fought through the ending part where Ronda had her in an armbar the entire time, and Liv impressively picked her up and was able to powerbomb her. But the hold was still in, and eventually Ronda transitioned to a triangle and choked her out. And to me, I think that brings it up a little bit. A solid outing for the SmackDown Women's title. Okay.
There were some moments I liked. To me, it was bad. I'm being completely honest.
Okay.
Parts of it. The Liv felt like she was running out of energy out there towards the end. The chair shots were dreadful. Not bad. Dreadful. They had sound to them. They had their swing to them.
No, there wasn't much impact at all.
The fire extinguisher spot was cool from her. Not to things I could point out for me. I like both women, but this was just. I like both women, but it's on the right person.
I give it a C.
D. Up next, Karen Cross defeated Drew McIntyre in a strap match.
Yeah, so I immediately perked my head up when I heard that the only way to win the match is pinfall or submission. As this match would improve greatly under that, and not just go around slapping the turnbuckle. And I ended up thinking this match was fine here. I'll say that they probably could have done better hitting each other with it.
I thought the straps looked better on SmackDown.
Yeah.
When Cross was whipping Drew.
Yeah. Like even it being live, I was like, okay, maybe since I'm farther away, maybe it's not going to sound like it hurts. The sound's going to fade a little bit, and maybe the microphones pick it up. It didn't necessarily feel like that changed at all, watching on TV. Even if WWE did add in sound effects to it, it didn't feel like it helped at all.
Right.
But however, it still probably does hurt getting hit by a strap. I will give him credit for that. It just felt like the sound could have been better while they were taking those hits. And yeah, I'm not the hugest fan of Cross here, but I thought this match was okay overall. He probably could have been booked a little bit better and more dominant, but I don't necessarily think it was. I've seen this a couple times on Twitter that they thought that Drew pretty much destroyed the whole match. I thought Cross got his licks in. Yeah, it was a little bit more in Drew's favor, but I thought Cross gotten good shots here. But I think the narrative is sort of correct in that Scarlett played a big factor in the main event as well. Or played a big factor in the finish. Overall, a solid match, I guess. Not bad.
I was expecting something a little bit more brutal for a strap match from these two big guys, but I'm so glad Karen Cross won the match. He needed to win, even if it was not a very clean victory.
I gave it a C.
Same. Up next for Royal Messiah, Bianca Belair defeated Bayley to retain in a ladder match.
Yep, in the first ever singles women's ladder match.
Yes.
I did like this match. The ladder spots they used were fun and sort of stuff you don't always see, which is always a plus in my book for a ladder match. Is it probably going to be one of the more memorable ladder matches? Probably by the tagline that since it's the first ever women's, that's probably going to be brought up more in history. But I won't necessarily say it's one of the great ladder matches either.
No.
There again, really cool stuff in there. Bianca's a friggin' beast. Picking up Bayley and a ladder, and picking up both of Io and Dakota. Well, literally just insane. Bayley's crowd work is always great. There were some brutal O moments. So overall, a solid ladder match for the show.
A really fun ladder match with some good spots. Bianca's a great athlete, and Bayley has a lot of character. I was a little unsure how I felt with the double KO at first because you might be booking Bianca a little too strong because she took out damage control without any help.
Yeah.
But then also you can't deny that Bianca is strong. And the crowd freaking loves her. I don't disagree with the crowd, or I should say the crowd doesn't disagree with me. Unlike Pat and Isaac.
I never said I didn't love Bianca.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Bianca.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't get your name right.
Couple of awkward steps with the ladder at times.
Yeah.
But, really fun ladder match.
I give it a B.
Same. Up next, I quit match for Balor defeated Edge. Love him, who told you that? Sorry.
In my match of the night, I really dug this one. I'll get the negative out of the way in that it started off kind of slow. Especially felt that way in the arena after sitting there for about 2 hours, but I think once they broke the barricade, the match took it into the next gear. Especially when we were literally a row in front of the pre-show set where Finn and Edge did a good bit of their work.
Yeah.
That was super fun. Watching them brawl through the crowd was also a hell of a lot of fun. It added like an aspect of sort of Attitude Era brawl, but also adding its own flair. When it came back, the match continued strongly here, and I thought the psychology in this match stepped up a notch here too, where we see them working on a body part and all that stuff. And then, weirdly enough, I'll say the run-ins definitely helped this match a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
Where obviously you knew Judgment Day was going to come in and Ray was going to come in. And even most people guessed that Beth would come in as well. I do like how they did.
I know a few people that guessed Beth.
I never disagreed with you that Beth wasn't going to be in this match.
I told you so.
I just said that we haven't necessarily seen her in a good bit.
Told you.
And I did like how the finish played out here, as it makes Judgment Day probably the most threatening it's been in its entire existence, even when Edge was the leader of this. Even with Edge beating up AJ in his heel turn night. It still hasn't looked more threatening than they are now, or violent or vicious as it has been. Really good stuff here, and definitely my match of the night.
Yeah, now the match did go 30 minutes. If it felt long with the paper, you probably cut out the first 8 to 10. Where they're just brawling in the ring. Where they're just doing technical stuff in the ring.
Yeah.
But from there,
which I think came off better on TV.
Yeah, we'll say that.
Than it did in the arena.
But this was another one of Edge's epics since he's been back. The soap opera hysterics. At the climax of the match, pretty damn entertaining, and Maria and Beth will be quite a cool match.
Yeah, talk about big meaty women slapping meat.
Yeah. So.
I give it an A.
A. And up next in the main event, Matt Riddle defeated Seth Rollins in the fight pit.
To me, I really did like the match. I thought it played off better in the arena than on TV, minus the ending of the match.
Okay, yeah.
Where I was having fun with them going back and forth, and I thought the best part of the match was less more the MMA style stuff, and more where they started wrestling each other. To me, that's when I thought the match was at its best. I liked the idea of the finish, but it also felt like it was also not executed in the best way. Where it felt like it sort of came out of nowhere. Even though it felt like we were at the climax, but it didn't necessarily feel like it ended the match properly. I think I know what it is. Just thinking about it now. I think I wanted Riddle to get more of a beatdown on Seth than he did, yeah. Where he ended up just choking him out. And then at the end of the match, they ended up just walking away from each other. Where if someone said that about your family, you'd probably want to beat them to a bloody pulp, at the very least. And maybe that's the fact where where I don't think this necessarily need to be in the fight pit. I probably could have got down with more of it being an unsanctioned match. I know AEW does like a dime a dozen of those, but still, I thought that probably would be a more climactic finish for those two. I did enjoy myself during the match, but it doesn't feel like the ending it's supposed to be, I think. But really good stuff, though.
Good, but really didn't live up to the last fight pit either. I think Cormier was pretty lackluster as a special ref. My enjoyment might have been hampered by fatigue when the I Quit match.
Yeah. I gave it a B.
Let's see. And Bray Wyatt return.
Yeah. We'll add that. It was crazy because we're in the back row, and since the fight pit was in the arena, the scoreboard was already all the way tucked in the arena.
Mm-hmm.
So with us being on the floor, we could only see like maybe the lower third of the screen, and we really had to crick our necks for that. And we really couldn't tell what was going on in the middle of the stage. Like, we wouldn't get a look at anybody until they came 75% down the aisleway.
Yeah.
So all the Bray Wyatt stuff to us was just random things happening in the crowd. The crowd going absolutely insane, which rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
Look, it's more of a funny anecdote and just a really awesome sense of feeling. Just craziness going on all around you. You sort of know what's happening, but aren't quite sure how it's going down. Yeah, it was a really fun ending for us.
Yeah.
It would have been nice if we actually saw Bray, but
Right. Well, we just see Bray. We just didn't see Bray.
Yeah.
We as a city see Bray. We just, as a collective unit,
Yeah.
see Bray.
Us and like our like 4 rows around us
Didn't see Bray.
didn't really see Bray.
Right. Overall?
Overall, I'm giving the whole show a B+. Yeah, that show's a lot of fun. I really love the opener and the I Quit match, as well as I thought as well as I loved about the Fight Pit and Bianca and Bailey in the ladder match about the same. Uh, Overall, this was a really fun show and had a lot of fun live as well.
Yeah, I give it a big good show. Dragged a little bit in the middle for me. Was so good. Donnie Brooke match was insane. Ronda versus Liv was slow. Drew versus Cross was fine. Billy versus Bianca had a great effort. Edge versus Finn was pure art. Main event was really good. And of course, the bird turned out perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But since I did win the week, so I'm only down by 2. Pat begged for it. I'm like, alright, I'm listening. I do what my audience wants. So, Pat's punishment review is.
I believe. I don't think it's within the last 2 years, but I believe you've given to me as a punishment before.
Don't try to get out of it now.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm pretty sure it's been a punishment before, but it might be better the second time. It might be better again. It might be better this time around.
It seems like one of our go-to ones for punishment.
Well, that's okay.
Every 2 years or so.
We've been living in 1995, so we might as well just get the big one out of the way. Of course, Pat can easily get this right back to me. For Pat, we might as well just get out of the way.
Don't worry. It sounds like a good one to give you right on the road to WrestleMania.
WrestleMania 11. With a pretty nice rating, if I may add, of a 3.31. Yes.
Yes.
Not bad card. For those of you who know this, the opener has the same exact rating as the overall show. 3.31. The Allied Powers versus the Blue Twins. 5.16. That's the second best match on the show. For the Intercontinental title, Razor Ramon versus Jeff Jarrett.
That probably is the second best match.
Well, 1.7. Undertaker versus King Kong Bundy. Larry Young is the referee. Special referee Larry Young. No. Any relation?
Nope.
Next with a 4.94. Yes, this will be the third best match. According to Cage Match for the World Tag Team titles, Camp Cornette versus the Smoking Guns.
That's Owen and Yoko.
Yes, Owen and Yoko. With a 2.94 I Quit match, special referee Ryan Piper. Bret Hart versus Bob Backlund. Bret Hart with a 2.
Yeah, this is the WrestleMania where Bret Hart decides to shit the bed.
I
mean, it's not his fault at all. It's Bob Backlund's also in there in 1995.
The highest rated match on the show was a 6.8 for the World Heavyweight title. Diesel defending against Shawn Michaels, and the main event was a 4.52. By far, that's a lot better than I thought it would be. A 4.52. That's actually better than I thought we get. Lawrence Taylor versus Bam Bam Bigelow. So Pat asked for it. Please give it to me. If I lose, I said it's not really fair to you, but okay. So WrestleMania 11 will be coming your way Wednesday. Thanks to Pat. And our retro review for the week next Friday is Elimination Chamber 2017 with Bray Wyatt winning the WWE Championship. See you then. What the fuck happened in my hair? See ya.